So welcome back, guys, to another episode of Decentralized Chain. It's Feroz bringing you the latest news, reviews, and blockchain tech. So today we are actually quite lucky. We're going to be interviewing the COO from Conflux as well as one of their researchers, and they're going to be explaining to us exactly what their project is all about. So without further ado, let's jump in. So welcome to the show. We have the COO, YuanJie Zhang. Welcome. Glad to have you on the show. And also to the right, we have our lead researcher for the white paper, Zhenzhen Li. So guys, I mean, really, it's all about you today. Hello. So first of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. I really appreciate it when you can come on and, just give us some real talk about your project. So look, let's kick off. I'm sure everybody's eager to find out what you're all about. So Mr. COO, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about yourself and, what is Conflux?
Oh, cool. Nice. So let me show our logo. So this is Conflux. I'm not sure you can see clearly.
Oh, we can see clearly.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, and about me. So don't call me like COO because I think in the blockchain world, any title with chief XX is bullshit. So it's equal. Okay. So, yeah, just call me YuanJie. I'm an ordinary people. Exactly the same as you are in the blockchain community or in the Conflux. So I'm a financial guy. So I work for venture capital, private equity firms. I even work for a tech firm on Wall Street. So I basically learn code myself. Also, I got very good connection with venture capital guys and private equity guys. So that's why I'm fundraising for Conflux.
Okay.
So my little achievement is I raised like about $35 million for this project for the first round of So that's my job. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And
right now, I'm in charge of the non-tech operations for the foundation.
Okay.
So that's basically.
Excellent. And Shenzhen, do you want to explain a bit about yourself?
Yeah. So currently, I'm a PhD student at the Tsinghua University, and now I'm doing some research about the Conflux consensus algorithm, and I try to produce a theoretical safety guarantee for Conflux. That's my job.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, guys, I mean, what is Conflux? What's the short pitch? If I was just coming across your project, I mean, what's Conflux about?
So you mean what's the cover? So in my view, I think Conflux is a fantastic consensus protocol and a fantastic blockchain system built on such a protocol. And in this protocol, we are trying to achieve a high throughput without sacrificing the decentralization or some other things. It is I think it is a challenge in research, but we will try to make try our best.
So I mean, if I
might work one sentence.
Pardon?
100 faster Ethereum. So that's it.
Okay, this is
exactly.
So if we so in that, I mean, so I suppose if I look at it, I mean, would I be correct in saying that you're going against Ethereum and Bitcoin to dominate, to ultimately beat them, or are you kind of working alongside Ethereum and Bitcoin to kind of coexist with it? What's the actual angle here?
So I think our technology paths follow exactly what Bitcoin and Ethereum trying to do. So Conflux itself is a protocol under proof of work using tree graph to process concurrent blocks, which will be considered as forks in Ethereum's or Bitcoin's. However, in Conflux, they basically use the tree graph, which is derived from Gauss rule, and then link those fork blocks together. So that's why they improve the throughput by 100 times. Okay. So Tenzin can give more details about it.
Okay, so in a way, you're kind of looking at speed being one of your major, I suppose, benefits over Ethereum, over Bitcoin. Are you going to be? Do we also? There's also scalability. Yeah. Scalability always comes into it. So I suppose is scalability one of those areas that you're addressing as well? It's not just about speed, but it's also being scalable as well.
Yeah. But when we talk about the scalability, we refer much about the throughput. This is what we think the most advantage compared between the Conflux and some other like the Bitcoin or the Ethereum.
Okay, So, I mean,
Yeah.
So that's kind of really what you're looking at in terms of your unique selling point. Now, in terms of looking at other projects within this space, I mean, we've got Algorand, we've got, Definity. How do you guys compare with these types of projects?
Okay, I think I can talk more about these questions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there are many different ways to try to improve the throughput, and some ways are sacrifice the decentralization, such like some protocols they use a consensus protocol called DPoS. They choose several, maybe 10 or 20 or maybe hundreds of super nodes, and the super nodes control the whole blockchain system. But this is not what we want, because such a design. So in such a design, only a few nodes they will control the whole system, and if a part of them crash, the whole system will crash. That's not the decentralization. That's not the blockchain. Yeah, and maybe for example, and another topic is about the blockchain system based on the POW. For example, such as the Algorand. Yeah. So some people think that POS may consume less energy compared with the POW. But we also but in our learn we found that the POS have many the safety vulnerabilities. And before the POS can solve all these cases, I think the POW is the most safe. The POW is the way that have the highest safety. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean,
yeah.
No, go ahead. Sorry, you were saying. So you're truly decentralized in that regard.
Yeah, we choose the decentralized and the safety. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, it's pretty impressive. And
for Algorand, you need to buy some algos to become a node operator.
Okay.
Well, that's not our intention, right? You should join or leave at will without very high threshold. Or for algos, you need to buy their coins at first. So this become a capitalization game. The poor cannot join. That's not what we want.
I see. So are you saying that if you wanted to be a node operator within Conflux, then there's no need for you to ultimately stake or hold Conflux tokens?
No.
Okay.
Exactly the same as Ethereum or Bitcoins. And even you have a laptop.
So you can so you can practically run it off whatever machine you kind of want to run it from. So
that's right, for ordinary people.
Okay. So let's talk a bit more about your team, your partners. I mean, kind of where your goals. Now, I suppose you kind of mentioned, how did you actually get into the blockchain space? I mean, we've heard a bit about your background in terms of where you come from, but how did you kind of arrive at this point? Why are you?
So Lee, you want to go first?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Teixing, do you want to go first?
What? So
about you want to go first? How the blockchain field?
I'm sorry, the network have some problem. I don't get your question.
I was just asking how did you get into blockchain?
How I joined the Conflux? Yeah. The blockchain or the Conflux?
Blockchain.
Okay, that may be simple. So the first time I know about the blockchain maybe is in the 3 years before. So at that time I'm a researcher focused on. At that time I'm a undergraduate student, and my research focused on the cryptography. And one day I see the Bitcoin, and I read all the technical design of the Bitcoin. I think this is a fantastic system. It contains many crypto designs, and it organizes all these design into a good system and solve the safety things, and it produces cryptocurrency. I think such a design is very good. And later, so in my home university, my institute have a lab about the blockchain. After that, I started research on the blockchain. So At first, my research is focused on how to protect the privacy of the blockchain. And one day, so the founder of Conflux, Long Fan, he found me and said that I have an interesting research topic. And in this topic, I think the existing research, they doesn't do very well. Mm-hmm. And after I read this paper, I think, yes, we can do much better. Then me, Long Fan, and some partners, we work together and write the first paper of the Conflux. And later, I work in the Conflux and try to make our consensus protocol better and try to solve many small issues in our protocol.
Okay, okay, for me, so basically, Fan is the main person that I got into blockchain. So Fan and I are very good friends for almost 8 years. So when I studied in Brandeis, he studied at MIT. So I know him as a genius. He got 2 IOI gold medals representing China when he was in high school. Okay. And then he lived to Tsinghua University and finished his PhD in MIT. Now he's a professor at the University of Toronto. Okay. So I didn't believe in Bitcoins or blockchain probably a year and a half ago, but I believe in Fan. I think he's a capable man and also he's an honest man. So that's why I joined this project and raised money for this project.
Okay, and so I mean, and for some of the viewers who might not know, so Fan is the founder of Conflux ultimately, or one of the main founders.
Yes, he's the main founder. So he is basically the guy connect everybody in this team, including our chief scientist, the Turing Award winner, Andrew Yao. Okay. So he basically studied under Andrew Yao for 4 years in Tsinghua University for his undergrad study.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got a team that's, pretty much in breadth, background in cryptography, infrastructure systems. So pretty much very talented number of engineers, researchers, and experts across the board then kind of backing up the team overall.
That's right. It's all hackers, researchers, and academicians. Okay. But they don't have a working guy. Mm-hmm. So it's a pity.
So let's talk a bit more about your project in detail, because I know I heard murmurs of Conflux back in 2018 towards the end of the year, and actually you've already had some pretty significant raises. So let's talk about some of your backers and advisors. So Conflux has raised somewhere in the region of, you mentioned before, $35 million already in the last round of financing.
That's right.
And can you share in terms of where the raises came from, investors?
Okay, there are mainly 3 types of investors. Mm-hmm. So first type, regional VCs, including Sequoia China, and second type, they are famous crypto funds. So MetaStable. So Hasib, he used to work at MetaStable. He basically led the investment into Conflux for MetaStable, and it was really unbelievable. Basically, Fan and I were just sitting in front of a computer, just like what we are doing right now, and about our call. And the Hasib basically wired $1 million to us after that call. So that's we built trust. I don't know, maybe he read our paper in detail, so that's why he believes so much in Conflux. And third types are basically internet companies. So Shunwei Capital is the investment arm of smartphone Xiaomi, so they invest in us too. So these 3 types of investors basically represent the most of our investors, and we are quite decentralized. We have about like 26 investors for our financing.
So well, that's very interesting. So you mentioned Xiaomi as the as one of the investors. So could I infer from it that you plan to play some sort of role within their products as well?
I think so. It's actually their investment arm called Shunwei Capital. They invest in Conflux. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we believe the collaboration between Xiaomi smartphone and Conflux is always will become a reality when it's a win-win strategy. Nothing has to happen, without natural demand.
Yep. Okay.
So we will see.
Okay, that's interesting. That's a very interesting comment, I'm going to say, on that place. So let's talk a bit more about your roadmap. I mean, where are you? I mean, you're more than just a white paper, right? I mean, you've got a testnet launched from what I could see on your website. Can you tell us a bit about your roadmap? What are your milestones? What's upcoming that we should get excited about?
So I think we just launched our testnet, and under the stress test, we push the transaction per second up to 700 the transaction per second for almost three days.
Okay.
So it went very smooth, and we believe we can further push it to up to 3,000, like what we promised for to the community. Mm-hmm. There's probably a campaign that we are going to do. We will download the whole transaction history of Ethereum. Mm-hmm. And run it on Conflux testnet, and we will finish it in probably 20 days. Okay. So that's why we say, we were just 100 times faster Ethereum, and we invite other people to witness this process, because people can simply mine into the network and synchronizing with the blocks. Okay. They will be able to see this happen just as they wish.
So just And a question around that, I suppose, is your testnet. How many nodes are you running this across?
So regional, the team set up about 36 servers, so 36 nodes, and I believe there are some fans of Conflux already mined into the testnet. I believe there's 20-ish. So they successfully mined into the testnet, and they witness from the external points as they want. So everybody is invited to do such things as you watch this video.
Okay, so basically, I mean, there's instructions on your website.
There's instructions on our website. You can go to the documentation tab. Okay. There's a developer documentation. Click that. You will be linked into the GitHub of Flux. Basically, you follow the instructions. Okay. So we will have the testnet run for about another 6 months.
Okay.
And then we will launch our mainnet.
So then we mainnet somewhere around October, November. Does that sound roughly?
Yes. Yeah. The end of this year or early next year.
Early next year. Okay. And so I'm trying to understand a little bit more about the project. And so I get it. You're better than Bitcoin, better than Ethereum in terms of from a scalability perspective, from a technability perspective, but I suppose one of the other things is adoption, right? There's so many projects out there, and there's lots of projects out there, right? And I think one of the areas is for a project to excel, there's always the topic of adoption. How are we going to get people to use your blockchain over another blockchain? How do we get the masses involved? And it's interesting because you've got the testnet, you've got the community that are already getting involved this way, and there's always there's two coins to it, so to speak. You got the speculators that want to obviously partake to grow and accumulate whatever base currency they want to accumulate in, and then you got those who are the tech advocates that want to start seeing this being utilized and used over other projects. And so what I'm really getting at is there has to be a demand for your blockchain. There has to be a reason why I'm using it. And one of the items I suppose will be is you obviously will have a native coin within your blockchain. So why would I want to use your coin? What benefit would I have in terms of being a holder of your token, so to speak, within Conflux?
So allow me to complain a little bit when you mention adoption, when you mention like community.
Yeah.
So Chenxing Li and Fan Long, I respect them very much. However, they really sucks in promoting themselves. Okay, they have their testnet launched, their TPS 700, but I mean their Twitter followers that even like 100 something. I'm ashamed of about this. If I'm another version of Justin Sun, the founder of Chuang, you can basically just paste their code and then just invested tons of millions of dollars into marketing, and basically become Conflux, just another name. I can invite Kobe, can invite Dwight Wade, who just retired, basically host some marketing events, and then this can become my projects. So that's why I just say, hey guys, if you're really hoping the blockchain industry to evolve, please do pay some attention to this project, and you become this community and support this community. So I would say speculators basically they got attracted by the figures like Justin Sun, right? So and their support is actually very important. let's say how Ethereum get to today's status, because through ICOs, even ICO doesn't prove to be a very good utilization of Ethereum itself, although it can become a securitization tool. However, without compliance, without regulation, this become very bad and harm a lot of investors. However, during this process, Ethereum itself got its asset value pump up. Now you can see some decentralized finance start to evolve on Ethereum's network, right? So speculator support are also very important.
Okay.
So that's why I say, okay, so we need to promote ourselves. So we need speculator support too, right? But they are supporting the right project. They're supporting a project that has a future.
Yes.
Okay. Now, developers. So why Conflux actually have a natural attraction to developers? Because a lot of developers, they actually have a demand for higher throughput. Let's say CryptoKitty, which is a very famous game that basically got Ethereum traffic jam, right? So that's a problem for Conflux here. And also going forward, I mean, for a blockchain system to interact with the real world, right? You need data oracles to commit real world data into the blockchain system so that people can interact with real world data. But that basically consume throughput, right? Let's say if you want to bet on S&P 500, you want to make some synthetic futures or forward betting S&P 500 to either go up or go down. You basically need to pull data from the real world to get, okay, how much S&P, what is S&P 500 is at today's level and at the settlement date. So I can calculate the difference, right? So that consume your TPS. So as I see going forward in Ethereum itself, if there's more and more usage on Ethereums, eventually it will get traffic jam again, unless its promised upgrade will come without delays, right? So a lot of developers and DApp developers like data oracles and decentralized exchanges already reach out to Conflux team saying, okay, how can we work together and push their products to users they want to use them. So that's why I'm saying Conflux has a special angle that some developers already pay attention to. So we have reached to some very good DApp developer teams, and we reached. They will put up their alpha product on Conflux Testnet. So when the mainnet is launched, we already have some products ready, and they already some users follow them. So it will be a small ecosystem when the mainnet is launched.
So it's interesting that you've mentioned that. So, and that's looking at it from a DApp perspective. In terms of your, and when you do have your mainnet launch, do you have any type of larger organizations that are also looking to adopt Conflux as well? Or do you have plans?
Right. Yes, we do. So one of our investors is a P2P peer-to-peer lending company.
Okay.
They are a traffic platform, so they offer traffic, offer users to peer-to-peer lending companies. So there are peer-to-peer lending companies in China, and they have a blacklist of bad borrowers.
Okay.
They want to exchange the blacklist. However, they are afraid of two things. One thing is they don't want to give up all their database all at once. Okay. Another thing is they are other people will give them bad answers.
Yes.
So they will use it as a platform to raise questions and take answers. So basically, when you ask questions, you will consume tokens, and if you answer questions, you will get tokens. So this becomes their incentives.
Okay, yes, you got a reward model in there as well for.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. And also for people who answer the questions, if your answers are not consistent with other people's answers, you'll be punished. Or over the long term, if your accuracy rate is consistently lower than the industry average, you will be punished too. So those are some like usage scenarios we're talking today in China. Yeah, this is actually a very classic scenarios for information exchange scenarios.
Yeah.
Let's say information have a very high economic value and you want to exchange it. So this can be very good application scenarios for blockchain systems.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Well, I mean, it's a very interesting project. It clearly sounds like you've got a very good backing and certainly some notable figures within there. So for the viewers, and I suppose this is how we're getting the word out for this project. It's an exclusive interview for Conflux. If we want to stay in touch, where do we go to find out more? Where do we go?
Oh, please go to our website. So main page, www.conflux-chain.org. So that's our main page. And also please go to our Twitter account. Our Twitter account is Conflux Chain. So please do help us. Otherwise, I'm afraid another Justin Sun can easily, get our projects away.
Well, I hope not, and I wish you both all the best in your project. And thank you for your time, and thank you for real talk, really, in terms of going through your project with us. So appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Barrows. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
I hope.
Thank you
For decentralized.
Thank you very much. No, thank you.